The Muskellunge is a legendary eating machine that devours anything that fits in its mouth. Their favorite prey are soft-finned species like shiners, chubs, ciscos, and suckers, but they've been known to attack frogs, ducks, and even muskrats if the opportunity arises. These shiners and red horse suckers are clearing out of the way, which tells us that something scary is nearby. The large scales falling out of this muskie's gills tell us that a red horse sucker had a very unlucky day. The inside of a muskie's mouth is lined with rows of teeth of various sizes. These teeth give the muskie a strong grip on anything it bites, and they make escape nearly impossible unless the muskie loosens its grip to reposition the food. This lucky short-haired red horse got away with only a few bloody scrapes on its side, and surprisingly bit my worm while it was still bleeding. The muskie's life cycle begins when the water temperature reaches about 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Females broadcast up to 250,000 eggs into shallow vegetation and rocks, with the males depositing milt onto the eggs as they're laid. As the fish brush up against objects and each other during spawning, muskies may get large scrapes across their bodies or heads. Eggs and fry are not actively guarded, so they're preyed upon by other fishes like young northern pike and pickerels. Eggs hatch within about 2 weeks, and the young fry start feeding on tiny zooplankton in the water before moving to eating other tiny fish. From this point forward, a muskie will eat anything it can shove into its big mouth. Muskie fry hang out in vegetation and grow up to 10 to 12 inches by the end of their first year. A 2-year-old fish can be up to about 18 inches, a 5-year-old will generally be sexually mature and passing 30 inches, and 8 to 9-year-old fish start to push beyond 40 inches. Trophy muskies over 50 inches are typically 12 years old or more, with their growth rates being influenced by the quality of forage fish available to them. Muskies are ambush predators that hunt by sight. They quietly stalk their prey and patiently wait for an opportunity. This muskie thinks a silver red horse would make a nice snack. When fishing for muskies, big baits generally attract big muskies. Where 30 to 40-inch muskies are common, I like to use small bucktails like a number 5 Mepps spinner or large hard baits like this 6-inch golden shiner. If you want to catch one larger than 40 inches, move up to big baits and heavy gear. My favorites are big swim baits, bucktails, and topwater baits. Plan to use 65-pound braid or higher and a heavy or extra heavy power rod to handle these big baits and big fish. Muskies are notorious for following baits back to the boat without striking, but the muskie is known as the fish of 10,000 casts, so even seeing one right at the boat makes for an exciting day. To entice these fish to bite, you should always extend your cast a bit by moving your bait in a figure-8 pattern next to the boat or around your boat. This gives you an opportunity to convince that following fish to bite. It's a good technique to practice with large pike, too. Muskies prefer cool, high-oxygen waters with an abundance of calorie-rich prey like suckers and ciscos. The best muskie fishing is near the Great Lakes region of the U.S. and southern Canada. The world record muskie is over 69 pounds, caught near Hayward, Wisconsin. The muskie is also Wisconsin's official state fish. When looking for muskies in the springtime, focus on shallow, vegetated areas. This is when muskies are exploring spawning areas. Once summer and fall hit, look for deep structures and deep holes adjacent to shallow feeding areas. If you find a large group of suckers, shiners, chubs, or ciscos, you might also find a hungry muskie waiting to strike. Heavy leaders are essential when targeting muskies. Heavy fluorocarbon or monofilament leaders can work sometimes, but a steel or titanium leader is the only way to make sure that a muskie can't cut through your line. You should also bring fish handling gloves to protect yourself and the fish, long pliers to remove hooks, a jaw spreader, and bolt cutters. The bolt cutters are to cut the hooks if needed to safely release the fish, or if you happen to be unlucky enough to get hooked while the fish is thrashing in the net. Once it's unhooked, hold a large muskie out of the water for as little time as possible and support it under the belly. Good luck muskie fishing, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.